What is sustainable burial? Also referred to as green burial or natural burial, which emphasizes simplicity and environmental sustainability. The body neither cremated nor prepared with chemicals such as embalming fluids. It is simply placed in a biodegradable coffin or shroud without concrete burial vault. The type of burial you have is deeply a personal decision. Many factors such as family and religious customs, financial situation, and personal preferences must all be taken into consideration. Like all decisions related to your final arrangements, you should weigh your burial options carefully, since the decision you make is one important way your memory will be kept alive. There is no right or wrong choice, only the choice that is best for you and your loved ones. Factors to consider when thinking about sustainable or traditional burial options are: do you want a traditional final resting place? Do you prefer an outdoor or an outdoor environment? Should your resting place always remain dry? Do you want your loved ones to be able to visit your resting place? Do you want your loved ones to be able to leave flowers and other decorations at the site? And finally, is it important to you that the burial is easy on the environment? When we think of burial, most of us think of traditional in-ground burial for a full body in a casket. However, in-ground burials can also apply to cremated remains. In most cases, in-ground burial is accompanied by a funeral. Most cemeteries require that you also purchase a burial or urn vault or lining. Vaults are made of concrete to protect the container from ground collapse. While not required, most people also purchase a memorial marker or monument for the gravesite. There are several types of cemetery space to consider. There's the single burial plot, which is a single plot intended for the burial of one person or the urn. Double plot, which is a double plot may be two single plots side by side. There's the family plot, which is a space that is large enough for multiple family members, not in one plot, but many plots that are side by side. An urn plot, a space that is large, designed for burial of a cremation urn. Above ground burial options for a casket or cremation urn. Some people prefer to have the option of having their remains to be entombed above ground level. This may be an attractive option if you live in a low-lying area where you're uncomfortable about the possibility of flooding. Alternative burial options. If you prefer a less traditional burial, there are a variety of options. There is the burial at sea. For those who love the sea, water burial has a long history. Home burial. In some communities, it is possible to be buried at home or a family cemetery. The local funeral director or municipal government can assist you with determining if your area permits home burial. Green burial. Earth-friendly burials are becoming more and more popular. In some communities, cemeteries are designed to have minimal ecological impact are available. And then there's donation to science for those who wish to skip having a burial altogether. Is burial helpful to the environment? Harnessing the power of natural energy to finding new ways to power homes and cars, it's safe to say that going green is not a trend. People are genuinely concerned about preserving and protecting the earth for future generations. Naturally, they are looking for more ways to stay green and are finding it possible to stay green to the very end. There is much that can be done to make a funeral green. even considering the many laws and regulations regarding burial. Green burials are feasible and gaining in popularity for several reasons. And some of those reasons are: green burials consume fewer resources. Burial vaults used at a number of funerals are not made on site. They must be transported from the manufacturer. Concrete vaults used for typical burials can weigh as much as 2,700 pounds. Mixing the concrete, casting the vaults, and creating the linings and seals of vaults require the consumption of valuable resources. In addition to the amount of fuel consumed to transport a vault to the burial site must be also taken into account. Green burials can save money. Another big benefit of going green is saving money. Lowering the cost of funeral prices is particularly appealing to those who are interested in pre-planning, but they can also help family members lighten the financial burden during an especially difficult time. Green burials can save a family as much as $4,000 to $7,000. Green burials reduce the use of carcinogenic chemicals. Traditional burial practices include embalming. However, most embalming fluids contain formaldehyde, also known to be toxic. While some embalming fluids are now being made without the use of potential dangerous chemicals, it is possible to go a step further and provide for proper preservation and sanitation without the use of harmful chemicals. Funeral directors who were found to have a much higher incidence of leukemia are likely to benefit the most from the elimination of embalming chemicals. Green burials conserve land. Today's cemeteries take up many acres of land. That land is typically stripped of trees and natural vegetation, adversely impacting the local and global environment. Upkeep of cemetery grounds requires the use of chemicals for weed control and fertilizers, which can contaminate the ground and water resources. Green burials preserve wildlife. When the trees go, so do the animals that inhabit them. Even the slightest shifts in the balance of the ecosystem can have negative and long-lasting effects on the environment. By contrast, green burials follow a strict set of practices that ensure burials do not harm the ecosystems, but facilitate their restoration. For these reasons and more, green burials are making it possible to honor our loved ones without further impacting our natural resources, producing unnecessary carbon emissions, or harming workers at any stage of the funeral process. When you choose cremation, you have near limitless options when it comes to how your remains are handled. In addition to traditional options such as urn burial or scattering, you can choose to have your remains buried in an ocean reef or made into a precious stone, which are some of the other green options. Environmentally friendly burial options also include a simple wooden casket, cardboard containers, woven caskets, shrouds, tree pods, biodegradable urns, urns designed to be buried with seeds or tree saplings, paper and fiber urns, urns designed to float and dissolve in water, rock salt urns, and plain wooden urns. We tend to think of our most important life decisions as things like when and whom to marry, what school to attend, what career to pursue, and where to live. Death is not something we like to think about. However, death is a fact of life. Choosing how to arrange for the disposition of our bodies when we die is an important decision that can't be ignored. The implications of our choices affect our family, environment, and eternity. Simply put, what is done to our body cannot be undone.